Make sure the mic's on. Hope everybody's having a good night so far. Check a few things out here. Want to make sure everyone can get the link for this. So just give me 1 second, guys. I'll be able to share this link here with everybody. Shaky day in the market, but that'll be just fine. We're going to go ahead and share this link with all of you right now. So here you go. Posting this one. And then there's a few people over in D-Man's group that I know that would like to check this thing out as well. All right, so let's get a few people on, make sure this is the right one here. So right now, I'm over in this group. Let's jump back over to ours. Right now, let's see how many people can pop up on here. Let me know as soon as you're in the chat. There we go. I got to change the date on that thing. It's actually not the right date. So we can rename this. Today's the 16th, so we can edit this real quick. We're going to go over quite a few things, though. All right, guys? That way, most of you can get on here. We can save these for the future. Also, you're going to be able to see exactly what I see a lot easier. So right now, I do want to do some crypto trades tonight. If any of you guys do want to trade some crypto, this one right here, I just hit on. I've been following this real easy off these lines. You can see this has a real easy, solid trend line. I just been buying right on the dips here. We've been ripping right up on each one. So the first swing, the second swing, just got another buy signal right off of trend line support. Even these small little pushes leverage, just a $2 move is about 100% gain. So you can see these really fast. There is a way to set your account up. You can see the MACD and the RSI if you do want to have those on there. Right here, you can see all the levels really easy off TradingView, especially with our algo. You can buy straight off of here as well. If I do want to do a trade off of here, all I got to do is link my trade station to it, which I have, or any of these other accounts. You guys can even paper trade on here if you want to get used to just trading off of TradingView. But you know, you can see things very, very, very well on here. Let me show you guys a couple other things real quick. Let's go back to my YouTube studio and let's see what else we got here. Let a few more people pop in. That way we can get everyone in here that wants to be. That way I can go over what's going on for the day. I believe that there's a way that I can even add myself on here. Yeah, I'm not going to add myself to this one just yet, but in the future I will. But crypto trading, I don't know how many of you guys have Binance, but you know, very easy to trade off of TradingView for Binance. You can see these levels really well. You do not need a big move for these to run like that. I follow a 15-second chart on this. The 5 second and the 1 second is very short, but if you add a 15-second chart, it's not going to have you sell each, you know, candle. So you can easily see these bounce levels here on XRP or for any of these other ones. Now let's go to this is showing the market cap. You can switch it to whichever percent, or if you want it indexed or regular, however you want it. Let's show you crypto. And you can see right here at 119, Just had a weird pop all the way to 124. Right when you had that shot on crypto. Right now it's got a sell signal at 120, but the trend line is right here at 118.75. So you can literally watch this on the 15 second. You can see the MACD right here. Let's watch and see if this trend line holds. This green line is going to be the main moving averages on it, so you can literally visually see buy signals on that. So let's watch and see if it bounces off this level right here. Then you'd be able to scalp from essentially 118.81 up towards 121, which may not seem like much, but that's about 100% gain depending on how high you leverage yourself in Binance. And in the future, I will go on Binance and have it on the other app. That way you guys can watch me do it real time. I've been doing this for about an hour now. Still getting used to the YouTube live, but here's the moving average. I'm also going to pull Bitcoin up. That way you can see this one as well, because you know that they're all essentially gonna follow Bitcoin in the end. So let me go ahead and pull up Webull and everything as well. That way you guys can see them all at once. But for right now, we're just gonna watch it through Trading View. Here's the main moving average. You can see the MACD looks like it's turning a little bit. So let's see if it pops right off this level. I can go all the way down to 5 seconds if I want to, so you can see it a little easier. All right, see it turning right now. MACD crossed, pushing already off that level up towards 119. Just got a quick buy off of the bottom of that range, but it hasn't crossed the main moving average. All right, so give me 1 second, guys. I'm actually may just go live in the Discord. It's saying my disk space is low. I've been doing so many recordings on here that it's probably just eating these things up. Probably got like 20 or 30 hours worth on here, but I'm sure that all of you can still see the actual main chat on here. So it doesn't really matter if this is staying recorded or not. You still have the chat right here on the side. So if you guys want to ask questions, it'll be right here on the right hand side of this. Okay, see the buy signal on XRP. It would have got in at 119.36. It already crossed the downtrend. Now we're getting ready to test the moving average. Got rejected right off of it. So that would have been, as crazy as it sounds, that would have been the main scalp. And it already got a sell signal off of it. But 1 cent is all you need for literally like a 50 or 100% gain. And now it's bouncing right off the bottom of that band. So that's why I don't like the 5 second. I go out to the 15 second. That way you can see the trend lines a little easier on this. All right. So let's stay on the 15 second for the purposes of this only. And we haven't even made it back to a 15 second moving average yet. If you come out to the 1 hour or 1 day, you guys all know where I bought this at. You guys all know I was screaming at 55 cents to buy this thing when Bitcoin was bottomed out. This thing all the way down here, 55 cents. We had our break at 72 and we gapped all the way up to 138. So this thing was about a 5,000% move on a 50x leverage. Some of the guys do higher leverages than that. But KJ has been crushing low key in the room. I know that he hasn't got a lot of followers from you guys yet, but he should, especially at nighttime. If you follow KJ, he's not going to steer you wrong. Here is quick 164, 188, 64, 529, 406, 177, 100, 82. His win rate is near 100% whenever you guys do get these on there. So KJ crushes on futures. This is all he does. You can see his win rate right here just for the week. 102, 82, 878, 220, 120, 141, almost 1,400 He had 2 losses here, but 158. Um, average gain very high, and a total of the averages almost 3,000% on the week. So, that is a lot on there. If you guys, do want to follow KJ on his crypto gains, there's a ton of them on here. As for today, today was a choppy day, very choppy. I want to get Weeble pulled up on here, so let me go ahead and move this real quick. Let me show you guys something real quick. I had to pull it up the other way because of the screen that I'm recording on, so we could jump in just regular through this way. Yeah, it doesn't have my old chart up there. I don't want to use the new chart on that. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, should be back on there, and I should have Weeble pulled up on this account now as well. So we're gonna keep this one over here. That way I can pull Weeble up if I need to right off this chart right here. So let me go ahead and check the YouTube again. I know that this thing is weird, so just checking my stream to make sure it's still going. Make sure you guys are all still on there. I know that this is a little different, so let me see this real quick. Yeah, should be still ready to roll. All right, I can see you guys on there, about 10 viewers only on there, but just want to make sure you guys can see my screen. Again, this is new to me for this, so but people do say it's a clearer picture, and that I do have it set up to where you're going to see it not as clear as my computer, but at least a better stream than what the Discord is. So looking at Weeble, and I do like the old school charts on this. That's why you guys see me keep these on there. Bitcoin looked like it almost lost and did lose its bounce area. This is the one we were talking about earlier. You've seen it bounce right off of it for a moment, lost it, reclaimed it. So this is going to be a really important area for Bitcoin. You go to the daily, and this was our real shot on this. This is where we're getting Ethereum coins down near 28 to 30,000. We really ripped off this level. So, it's no surprise that this is having some pullback on it. Even if it were to come all the way down towards this 38,000 support or this break, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Things don't just go straight up, especially with a choppy market today. So if you look at the overall indexes on this, they're definitely flat today. The S&P 500, look at the daily chart on it, and it looks like it hasn't skipped a beat, right? You look at the daily chart, and we've literally just gone up. We've had some dips on this on the way down, but overall, this thing has really just gone up. You could have literally dip bought anything, and all the major things in SPY like Apple, Microsoft, all the value stocks. These are the things that, have been absolutely crushing. So let's see. Yeah, okay. I see, Coop. Now, the NASDAQ had a nasty sell-off this morning on the 1 minute. You look at open today, right? This is how we opened. So here's where we started, right at 9:30 in the morning, just straight down, found its bottom. If you look at this, though, this is where you could have jumped into a NASDAQ-related stock. You've seen it wedge out and bottom out on the day right here, okay? And then you had your clean break right at this level. Let me give you a better trend line on this. So about like this right here, once it leveled out, found its new top, You see it retest here, consolidate, then broke it. And then it never did lose that break for the rest of the day. All right. Then we had our next level, which was going to be right here exactly. So here's the next break that we're looking for. Tested, turned, broke, held. All right. Now we're pushing up. Had one more level to break, which was right here. This is where we started off at. And we ended up the day, uh, you know, even higher than, not where it was pre-market, but it recovered nicely on the day. 14,610 all the way back up almost to where we were going into pre-market, and we're at close yesterday. So a nice recovery. If you look at things like AMD and a lot of these related stocks, look at the 1 minute on them, and you're going to see a lot of things that follow this, right? Let's look at, say, DraftKings on the day. Fell straight to open and then just kind of traded sideways, made a nice move up towards the end of the day. Now, I did have a YOLO open today, and this was a YOLO. Anything that's a YOLO is a complete gamble. So, it hit 1405 going into the earnings. All right. So you can see my bounce level here was at 1333. And it came right off of my support, slowly trended up into the day. Then when earnings came out, it did sell off. So, you still could have made a nice little quick return on the day if we sold it at close. Anything holding through earnings is definitely always going to be high risk. The GoDaddy, this one is still going to be in play. I'm looking to maybe get a play on this probably tomorrow, guys. You can look at this right here. We're right at support, 66.50, 68.66, and right now we're at 69.24. So technically this can go a little lower if we were to just go straight across, right? But our secondary support is a little higher. So we're right in that range on it. It does have share buyback news. So if we do come over to this area and we catch this near this 66, this does have a gap to fill all the way to 77 or higher. Now, what is familiar about this chart is this right here, okay? What's familiar about this chart is these long-term support levels, like on AMD, okay? This was doing the same thing, right? At the time, from 94 to 73, it felt like the world was ending, right? People were getting crushed right here. We were falling all the way down to 71, all the way from 100, all the way back to 72, all the way up to 89, all the way back to the 72, right? But the thing is, it held this level the entire time, okay? And ended up breaking out all the way to 122. Now, when you see these like this, and you don't take advantage of these long-term levels that they're hitting right here, right? Each time, this has also jumped all the way to 93 plus. So 71 all the way to 90, 78 all the way to 90. Now we're at 70, which is at this long-term level. Just got the news about the share buyback right here, okay? So I can drag this straight over. You guys can see that. GoDaddy sets 250 million accelerated stock buyback. All right. So that could be a potential catalyst for this. And it is at a long-term support level. The market waiter even had a decent little pop today off of that $1 range. You see it shoot all the way up to 128 yesterday. So I wish I grabbed that dollar when it was down there. Quick 28% gain on that. And it's still holding its levels at 106. So if I get a dip anywhere down here at this dollar range now, I'm definitely adding this again down here. So this thing is at 104, 30% move, consolidating, bounce off the same level all the way to 123, 114 after hours. We get a 106 or a dollar bounce. This is definitely that long-term level I didn't think it personally go back to it, but that $1 level was all the way down here. Okay, here's that 106. This is that long-term support. I really didn't think it would make it back to, but it did. This thing is all the way down. So, if it loses that, of course you wouldn't want to hold something. I don't think it goes to 21 cents. Absolutely not. Not what's coming around the corner. But we're all the way at this level again, man. This thing shot all the way to $5, $6 off this range. So sitting at $1.06 again, there ain't no way in the world I'm not buying this thing at $1.04. Okay. I guarantee you that this thing bare minimum goes to $2 before the end of this year. I absolutely guarantee it, regardless of market conditions. If COVID comes in, if the Delta variant or any of that, it doesn't matter. This is going to work inversely to that, all right? Because this is a stay-at-home play. If they do start locking things down and people get scared of that mask mandate, then it's only going to make it better for this stock. This is a food delivery stock and soon to be a marijuana delivery stock. So definitely going to be watching this at this level again. Okay. I know some people feel like they're trapped in this stock, but I love this thing long term off this level. This 104, 104, 106. That's bouncing right off of it right now. This may not look like much, but that is a 28% move off the lows if you're to catch it at the high of the day. Look at the 5-minute chart, 106 to 122, then balanced out at 114. So it is holding this 104 to 106 range well. Okay, right here at these bottoms. DraftKings. All right, I'll show you guys my break level. We posted this the other day. It came down to the bottom of the wedge at 41. Here's 39. This is trendline support. Now, what I really like about this level is this right here. Let me show you this. So this level right here, all right, this is the break point at 56. This is 41.78. This is the trendline support. All right. And then we retested the downtrend, broke the downtrend. And just like I told you this morning, very likely is going to fall into it. But they almost always hold their break. Okay. We got the NFL season right around the corner. So if this holds this break right here, you better believe that this thing is going to turn and bounce off that level. All right. So for DraftKings, where is the upside for this if that level holds? Let me show you the daily chart on this. We can jump over to this one. You can probably see it a little easier. There's the trend line support. There's the downtrend. There's the break. Here's the bounce off the break. And we're still at that level now. So this can push. If this breaks 56, we can gap all the way to 62 and 64. All right. This is going to be our next big test right here at this $64 range. If we break this, we can go all the way back to 74 all-time high. Okay. You got to understand that DraftKings right around the corner, NFL, all the betting, there's going to be a lot of advertising for DraftKings. They just bought GNOG. So, they're going to have different source of revenue. And whenever companies buy other companies out, you do see an initial drop in these things, okay? Whenever they do happen. We had a buyout today and it fell, and people were asking me on the side, like, well, why did this fall? If the buyout came and whatever money they use to buy another company, it's going to come out of their share price essentially almost immediately. All right. People are going to factor that in. But it's good for the company long term. AMD, was merging and buying out another company last year. And you can see now what it did. So I'm going to be watching all these gambling stocks. Penn, This thing is way down from its 142 high at $67 right now. Okay, this thing has let's go ahead and delete this whole chart, and we can look at this trend line. We come all the way back into this range. Say if we even just use this as support level. Okay, move this over here. Say this is straight support. Now, I don't think that it comes all the way to that. I think that this is going to be the one that holds right here at this 62 to 65 range right here. I think that this is as low as this one's going to go with all this right around the corner. So I'm going to be watching for this. I remember this thing last year being under $5, man. And this thing went all the way to 142. So, you know, so many people, they buy the spikes and sell the dips. You know, you wanna buy the dip and sell the rip, not buy the rip and sell the dip, right? So you got to be looking at these things that are just way beaten down right now. Even Clean Spark off of its 4260 high, this thing has just gotten crushed down here. Let this thing come down near this 966 range, right? I mean, look at this thing. We look at it after hours, 1251. You know, I'll take it down here anytime near $13, 1250. You can see it right here, right? After hours at 1224 for a moment off of earnings. I'm just going to try and catch this one as low as possible. I'm not saying it's going to run back to 42, but I do think it's going to go back to $20. You can look at the earnings. They didn't really highlight a lot of things that they're actually doing, but they still are mining up to 18 Bitcoins per day. And as you can see, Bitcoin is over $46,000. That is a lot of money. And they're doing it with clean energy. That's exactly what Kathy Woods and Elon Musk, you know, whole meeting was about last week. So Roblox, very new company, very volatile. I was watching this for a day trade today. So let's check that out real quick. I'll show you what went right and wrong about it. So here was the play on Roblox. It was only briefly up. All right, so I was watching. Let me clear all these charts out on this. And then obviously after hours with the earnings. Earnings plays are always dangerous, okay? We go to the 30-minute chart. So here was the major support at 77.56, okay? This is the level that it broke last time. So, you know, it didn't even hold this level after hours. But as you can see on the way up, if you go to really early time frames, it did have some levels in between. Let me show you what I was watching for the dip this morning, all right? And I honestly believed that the NASDAQ would bounce, and it did. And I thought that since this had earnings after hours and it's such a popular stock, that this would trend up throughout the day. It just stayed flat all day. So luckily I got you guys out pretty quick on it. We bought one right here. We averaged in on one more. Then you could see it on the 1 minute chart. I'll show you where I had you guys sell this thing at. Oh, sorry about that. Let me go back to Roblox. Show you where I had you sell it at. So here was the first dip on it, right? We bought one, okay? Right here, averaged in right here. I was waiting for a MACD cross. We were oversold. We got buying volume. The MACD did cross. The RSI did turn. Everything looked like this thing was about to swing up. We were up about 15% on it just for a minute. And then the indicators started turning against us. I went ahead and got out right at break even right here because of this right here and this right here. So it did lose that area. It held the 79.25 and literally just stayed flat the entire day. Went up back to 80.69. Not a move big enough to make money off of. And then after hours, fell off the earnings and then just still kind of sideways again, man. I'm going to have to dig deeper into what happened at the earnings. Apple today. Now, I did play this off of someone in our group today. I got the 150 Apple calls. I believe they were called by JP Investments, or one of our guys called it. But I bought this down here right at the cross as well. This one actually did move at the cross. Roblox stayed sideways. This one had a cross right at 147. It started the day at 151, so I figure 150 break, this thing could push easy. So I swung it straight to 150. It held, then slowly trended up, and after hours is at 150, So this one still looks pretty good. We are pushing. All this did was just bounce right off of its trend line, guys. If you look out on the 30-minute chart, check this out. Here's a 30-minute chart on it, right? Right off the trend line, resistance off the trend line on both down days. So you could have bought the dip here, made it up, bought the dip here, up, off the trend line here. Then today, this one came right down to the trend line, came. Actually, I accidentally moved this a little bit, but here was a resistance on that. And then you can see today, it just came right to that same trend line, bounced right off of it. MACD cross, oversold, buying volume, and it just came and broke right out of it and pushed up towards 152. So whenever you're following things like this is just a perfect wedge pattern. You can see the consolidation on it very well. This is at 141.67. All it is this is just consolidation and a break of consolidation. And this is all it did on the long term. Could have bought any bounce on this the entire way up. Look at this on the other chart. You go to the daily on this, and you can see it a little more clear, right? Look at each level. 103, 125, 106, 151, 116, 135, 123. This is where my call was going into earnings, all the way up to all-time high. So you can see it's breaking all-time high right now. And these things do funny things whenever they break all-time high, man. These things really like to gap up sometimes. If you don't believe that, just take a look at Google, because Google absolutely flagged and broke out many times this year. You're not going to be able to see it too well on this chart. Probably going to see it on this one. It's gone up so much, it's hard to even see it. But at the time, these were flagging on each break. This thing literally flagged here. You can barely even see the downtrends on them now because it's up so high. But this was a consolidation and a break pattern. Here was another small downtrend, bull flag, and a break. Same thing. And then now we're all-time high. This thing has gone from 1,400 to 2,800. The stock literally doubled just since 9/24 of last year. So some people try to do too much. And that's why I tried to tell someone in market chat earlier. You know, they try to do all these crazy plays and make these moves, make 1,000% every day and get rich. They want to get back all their losses on the year. But the truth is, had you just bought Google, okay, even just the, it's $2,000 a share. Say you have 10 grand in your account. Within 8 months, you would have doubled your account just buying a value stock like that, right? This stock literally doubled. If you would have bought it at COVID level low, you would have tripled your account just buying something like Google. So there's nothing wrong with having some value stocks in your account. I know a lot of people that have only growth stocks. Palantir, Jumia, Skills, Open Door, all Kathy Wood stocks, Tesla, penny stocks, Visalink, all these things that pumped real hard back to $8 from 66 cents and did a reverse split. So 1 for 6, that wasn't the actual level it was at. But you see what I mean. Instead of buying Amazon, when this thing was 2,800 and running all the way to 3,800 for $1,000 a share move, people like to buy a penny stock that moves 20, 30, 40% in a day. All right. And that's not the way to do it, man. I know that you see a lot of those things called out. I know that we've hit on a lot of these plays. The Starbucks play looks great. Right off the trend line, looks wonderful for this thing to make a bounce. I believe that Kumo is in this play right here. So we're going to be watching this one. Yeah, Kumo has Starbucks open, I believe. I think he caught it like a week ago. He is primarily a swing trader, guys. He's one of those low-key ones. People will buy his option. It'll go up just a tiny bit, and then they'll just sell it, right? They don't wait for him to sell, but he does trim 50%, and me and Emily follow him. We've been hitting on all his plays. Some of them lose, but most of them win. Only 21% on that one, but if you look at some of these others, man, they really crushed. And even these little 33% ones add up. 122. We got, let's see, 161 on the UA. Okay, 25. He trims all the way up just like you should. You should never hold something all the way through. 22%. All right, trim. Romeo, we made profit on the Romeo play. This thing tanked after earnings. I didn't hold anything through earnings. I'm pretty sure he didn't hold it through earnings. I'm not sure. Silver, I averaged down on it. Looks like he might have held through earnings. 6.5 call. Yeah, he's dead on that one. Silver had a nice move. Oh, Romeo. Okay. Cross both PTs, 125. Hit a high of 140. Let's see. He added a few to swing. All right. I want to see if he sold this one. No, he didn't. So anyway, even before earnings, he had 100% gain. He probably just held runners through. You never want to hold a full position through earnings. That's just stupid. Unless it's a lotto play, which sometimes can be beneficial. I got Snapchat through earnings. Crushed 57 all the way to $77. Had a lot of people in this room made a lot of money off that one. I got IBM through earnings. This one also shot up huge right here. This is all the way down at 136, hit 145 the next day. And these options move fast. So looks like IBM's actually looking pretty good also. Looks like value stocks are creeping up again. So check IBM's breakout. It's going to be right at 147. This is going to be the break on this. So let's check this bottom out here. It's going to be right in this range. All levels look like this is going to turn and retest this 146, potential break towards 152. So let's check out the 150 calls. August 20th is not long enough. 150 calls are 145 even. 213. Let's see what these were just worth. $270. High of 470 back here and 403. I don't think the risk to reward's there. You can see where it's trading at. If we get a break, This could go to 270. I don't like that one. I'm gonna check the 150 out on that. Okay, now this one looks better. If we can catch this on a dip near $64, maybe even 50, then I like this to push towards 94 or 100. This could be a 100% swing trade on that. Definitely could go a lot higher. This thing was $760 at one point. It is $74 right now. So this is on 610 on that big break on IBM. So if you looked in my old room, I did have a play on this going into that time. So you look at 610, that is right here. So this is IBM at 152 with a 150 call. It was $710. So if this were to break this and push towards this 152, this $70 right here could become 500 to 700 per contract. Bullish divergence, got a MACD cross. It does not have the volume or really an earnings to run up into it. Okay, at least here it had an earnings. So this was my last play on IBM. I actually had it for two reasons. One, I had it for an earnings run right here at support for earnings to run up into earnings, and it went from 117 all the way to 136. And then the second play I had on this, I had it as a breakout play, which is right here. Okay, it's at a break level at 135, 135, and you can see it really struggle with that area. I told you guys that this thing gapped up to 158. It hit 153, never made it all the way to back to its previous highs. Still is a great play off that bottom. Got you guys in real low down here to come up even to test that level. So I don't know if anyone remembers that play from the old room or not, but this was a breakout play for just that reason, and it did break out and hold this level as the new breakout. Okay, you can drag this straight across. Here's its test, here's its test, here's its break, here's its hold, here's its hold, here's its hold. So IBM new support is at 136. If you ever see a dip on this thing like it just had the other day, 136 is going to be your new support. All right, you see a MACD cross right off that 136, and it's already made a $10 move. So watch this. Say at 136, this one should show you guys something. Say just for support, it's at 136, so you're going to get a 140 call, right? And this thing is at, let's see, 360. It ran to 510, 520, 330, and let's see, look at the daily on it. Yeah, that's what you're getting off support for these levels. 233 to 300. Then a big rip all the way to 1,455 on that big move up. But I'm more or less looking at this right here. These are at 330. Not a lot of open interest on these either. So they're going to move widely. 370 all the way to 510. I mean, those are still decent moves off those support levels for IBM. Not in my top 10, though. The one I am definitely going to talk about is Proterra. All right, this one is absolutely still in play. Okay, 970 was its level. We're at 986. You can look at it after hours. We got back into it again today. Look at this beautiful bounce right off that 980 range. Came back and retested. It's at 1010 after hours, but I really love this bottom on this thing, man. This thing hit it to the T. We got that infrastructure bill coming. This is the only U.S. company that makes electric buses. They got hundreds of billions of dollars allocated towards this thing. Yes, Justin, I will check forward. this thing's going to make a move. All right. I like for this to go to 13 plus, maybe even push all the way towards 18 or 20. If the infrastructure bill is passed and if growth stocks turn. I know that's a lot to ask. I do like this level though. I'm going to load up down in this 980, 975 range. If it loses major long-term support, maybe we just set a stop at 940, 950. That way, you know, little downside, a lot of upside in case this thing passes. So I'll check forward out for you real quick. So Ford, off its COVID lows at $4, was just on a steady, slow uptrend for a long time. And then it had a break point right here, which was at $10 range. Okay. This $10 break was a long-term break, because if you look at the weekly on this thing or the monthly, this thing downtrended for a long time, right? You can look at it right here. This was a weekly break at that same exact level, okay? You see this downtrend right there? It broke that 10 range at the same time. So I remember showing this to people on the weekly chart that it finally broke the weekly downtrend that had haunted this stock forever. So it finally broke first that 952, and then the second line that you see is the weekly downtrend, which it broke right here at 983, pushed up, held, ran all the way to $16. This is when the new electric Ford F-150, this is when they had the deal going on with the other companies that I was showing you guys. It's just been kind of in a downtrend. All right. It was overbought on the RSI at 1646. Hasn't had as much volume. MACD crossed to the downside. This is when you profit take right there. Okay. But its original support at 11. This is going to be $11 almost on the head. This is definitely a buying level. And it could be even before that, because it still has a break point right at this range close to where it's at now. So let's watch this. This is going to be at right around $13. Okay. It hit, let's see, $12.79 just for a second. Looks like $13 is going to be the buy. This looks like an easy wedge pattern breakout. We are consolidating, and they need consolidation. It's consolidated for a long time. It's not a fast mover, but it had its breakout right here. This was the breakout. Now it's just consolidating, but it did test this bottom 3 times now. So you can see this consolidation. If this turns and breaks from this 13, we can easily go back towards, 14.50, maybe $15 if it holds. So I would look for a move about like this. Let me show you guys real quick. This is what I would watch for. And you always got to be open-minded, man. You got to go both ways on these. You can't fall in love with the stock. Okay? So this is going to be its support. Okay? Make sure that this level right here holds. Because if not, this is coming back down towards this 11.14. All right? This is the next support on this. There's not much here to keep it in place. There's not any real bullish indicators or catalysts. Most of the catalysts are essentially negative on it, okay? Semiconductor shortages, inflation, a lot of different things going on with a lot of these automotive industries, all right? Don't let it lose this support. If it turns and breaks, make sure that it holds the break, and then you can push just like this. That'll always be how the breakout pattern goes. They break out of these, but they have to hold the break, otherwise it'll come right back through to that support. So trim on a breakout, hold a runner to see if you can push. But 4 does look like it's nearing the end of consolidation here. Whatever it does off this level, I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you that it's nearing the end of consolidation and it's going to make a play which way or the other. Okay, so I don't know that I would get puts on this simply because it's just such a slow moving stock. However, right here at 13 is the support. Okay, so if it were to bounce, it's going to bounce right at this 11.14. Look at this. It held it here, it held it here, held it here, and here. So 4 times it held $11.14 right here. So that's definitely really strong support for it right down in this range. This was its break point, and this is where it gapped up at. This is just falling from its breakout, right? It happens to every stock. Any stock that breaks out like that, from Tesla all the way to Ford, typically comes to its break point, okay? And I always draw lines to show people the break point. That way they can watch it because they'll almost always come to it, all right? I did the same thing with Tesla. I told them at $900 that it was going to come back to $540. And a lot of people literally laughed in my face about it. Like, you think Tesla's going to go all the way to $500 something dollars? I'm like, absolutely, I do think it's going to. And, not a lot of people could believe that when it's at 900, but almost every stock does the same thing, guys. I've followed these things for 10 straight years, all day, every day, okay? And I'm telling you right now, whenever you see these wedge patterns and you see a break on them, they almost always will come back to the original breakout of the previous all-time high, at least one time. So when you see these things hit right here, they do like to bounce off those levels. And as you can see, Tesla's never lost that level. It's never lost its break of its old all-time high. 539, bounce, okay? 546, right in this range. We're bouncing off those levels. Okay, get these things out of the way right here. And right now, looks like it could potentially come back to this 610 range from this level. See the RSI curling down, MACD's curling down. That's not a big move for this to turn to the downside like that. As you can see, 729 all the way to 680 already. This can easily come back towards 626 or 621, but this is going to be where it would bounce at because this is right where first support is. You can see it right here on the daily chart. All right, 621. If it loses this level, I love the secondary level on that. Huge moves on Tesla off of that. 536 all the way to 700. $200 move on Tesla on options in a short period of time. You're making some money, man. Huge money. So I'm going to be looking up quite a few that I like for the growth swing. I do think that there's going to be a transfer. I think Apple, even though it's at all-time high, you can look at Microsoft, right? All-time high, Microsoft, again. So you can see this trend line right here. Easy plays off these levels. Bounced off of it, held a new support range right here. Look at this, just bouncing right off the trend line. And at the time, and I'm telling you guys this, people don't believe it no matter how it looks to them. Because this goes from 225 all the way down to 198. They're like, oh, it's trash. And, they make like poop emojis or whatever on it, right? And then it bounces straight off the trend line. So Like, how many times does it have to show you the same thing? Balance off support, all-time high. Bounces off support, all-time high. Bounces off trend line support, it's at all-time high. Okay, and then you look at the previous. It's basically in just a beautiful ascending channel, and then it just even broke that and held it right here and pushed up to a new all-time high again. So these value stocks are super duper high right now. There's gonna be some money coming out of these things, all right? And when these come down, it's gonna pull SPY down with it. The S&P 500 is going to come down hard whenever the Microsoft and Apple fall, and it's inevitably gonna happen. It's just a matter of when, right? So this thing is at all-time high, mostly because of Apple and Microsoft and all the ones that it's top heavy in. So when SPY comes down, you will see penny stocks and growth stocks fall with it too. Not as much, but I think that when people start getting out of some of these, they're going to start to go back into growth. Yes, I will check Home Depot for you. They're going to go into growth and some small caps. I think a transfer comes. However, if you want to be ready for the pullback on SPY, which is going to come, look at SPXS. This is 3X bear ETF against the S&P 500. You can see in the March crash, this thing went to $288.50 a share. Okay. This thing is at $20.98 right now. All right. These do reverse split a lot. When the market tanks, though, these things absolutely fly. The options on them are cheap. If you want to just hedge yourself, even if it goes to zero, man, just to be safe, you can get an October, you can get a $30 call for $50 on it. If the market crashes, this thing is going to make like $5,000 because, you know, imagine if one of these huge spikes come and this thing goes to, just on the dips last October, these went to $66. So you're talking about $30 in the money, $90 right here, all the way up to $285. And then I remember the 2019 spike. This thing, you know, they went very high. So you definitely want to watch and hedge yourself with some of these sometimes, just in case they crash. All right. Let me look at Home Depot for them. This is a value play as well. So Home Depot, I had this as a buy right at 258. We pushed to all-time high. If you guys ever see my purple line, for those of you not in my Discord, these are the lines that they're called my locks. Okay. I guarantee that they hit, and I guarantee that they come back to them. Same thing I just showed you with Tesla. This is where it hit, broke out of it, and then this is where it bounced at. It's no coincidence that this was the previous all-time high where the purple line is. There's no coincidence whatsoever that this is where it just bounced at. Right at $300. We're at $335, and we're pushing right now towards that $345 range. You look at the 1 hour on it, 4 hour will probably show it better. Look at this. Came to the T, bounced off of it almost to the dollar. All right. That was the previous all-time high right there. And right now it's just been trending up. And now you're going to have to watch and see if this gets rejected at this all-time high at 345. And there's it's kind of messy in that area. So really 338 is going to be the real test. 338 is going to dictate what happens with Home Depot. Right here at this 338 level, this is a major resistance area. This 345 is basically just like a gap up, but it lost this area pretty quickly down to 313 and then all the way down to 298. So right now, It could come retest this 338. It could break out to 345. Um, if value runs, because off fear of inflation, what better stock is there for a company that sells wood and metal for housing that's super expensive, right? They're making money hand over fist on this. So, um, I'll be honest with you though, it doesn't look like it's at a great buying range. This is nearing the highest it's ever been in history. Now you could bet that it goes a little higher for a short-term play. I would not bet on this thing long term. Long term, I say that it gets rejected somewhere near this range and ends up coming back to the 300 or the 315 range, here or here. Okay, this is just too high for these value stocks. The last crash, this thing hit 140. Uh, just had earnings and dividends, which were solid. Dividend 165 and its earnings 37.50 billion, which is really good. So this was the run into earnings. You see the earnings here, ran straight into earnings off of this low. You can come down right here and you would have seen that this just came right off support, right? Here's its support before its first run, came back to its support, pushed all-time high. You want to buy at support levels, man. You don't want to buy near all-time high levels. XL Fleet. Now, anything that was a SPAC right now is worrisome. They had their huge runs early in the year. Yes, they're beat to death. Yes, they can recover. But when inflation fear comes in, anything that is pre-revenue or just within their first year, people are afraid to invest in companies like this because, they just don't know. They don't have a history of earnings. And, the little history that they do have, 675K. Let me check the news on it real quick for you. I want to play some crypto tonight. Yeah, it looks like we're holding this trend line right here. 120. Man, it literally only takes 1 cent to make money on these things. This thing looks like it's holding its trend line well. This thing can push up, gap up to it. Look at that. That thing gapped to 125 just in seconds right here. Look at that pop. Boom. 5 cents. That thing would have made you $500 right there on that 100x leverage. We might jump back into crypto here in a little bit. Let's check out XL Fleet and see what's up with that weird earnings I was just looking at. Price target of $6 got downgraded yesterday by as a hold, $6 PT. Let's check the news out on it. Oh, and they're getting lawsuits. 26 days ago, I got some good news. Most of it's been bearish, though. Analysts are reducing their forecast for the year. Let's see. 13% decline in sales. Yeah, they made a big change in their forecast, I guess. But you know, I had to dig a little deeper on this. Lost 10.5 million second quarter on 3.7 revenue for. I mean, their trucks are sharp. Let's see what earnings we got coming up real quick. Anybody major? Actually, let me check stock cards real quick. We got Walmart tomorrow. Oh, okay. That's probably why you brought Home Depot up. Thing about playing earnings, um, you never want to buy a stock near all-time high and hope it goes higher. You're always going to get that implied volatility crush on it. So, some earnings that are near support and it's a beat, then, you can get a huge move. Most stocks after earnings have to move like 10 to 15% just for you to be profitable, just because that's how much um, the stock is going to lose on its implied volatility for the option. Let's see. Walmart, Home Depot. Let's see. Legion, Jack Henry's. Nothing crazy. BTCM has earnings. That'll be interesting. This thing got beat down too the last couple days, as crypto did pretty well. Hit $9. Uh, Zeus called this out in the room and crushed on it all the way down from this 440 range. He ran it all, he doubled on this thing on equity and calls, I believe. So this thing's starting to get oversold. This thing might be a play tomorrow, going in for an earnings run. This thing is definitely beaten down. Let me check it out on 30-minute. Let's check this out on Trading View. What did I type it in backwards? Oh yeah. Yeah, I lost that moving average right there. Definitely gonna need to break that. The MACD did cross though. Let me add. Nah, VWAP's already in here. We'll add some RSI in there. Yeah, this might be able to make a push tomorrow. I'm gonna have to check it. I'm gonna put the fibs on it tomorrow and see if it gets volume. I already made its move though. You know, everybody should have crushed on this last week, and that's why, you know, and it's hard to say it like that, you know, and I hate to say it. Yeah, and I'll check the fuel cell on there, but you know, we went like 30 days straight of 100%, 400% gains, equity hitting 400%. We had 30 equity plays. Um, all 30 of them at one point in time were profitable. We trimmed a lot at 30%. Some went 240, some went 400. A lot of them went 50. On top of that, so many options trades. Me and Emily hit about 25 out of 30. Some of them for massive, that the Baba and all these other ones. When you have these really good months, don't take all of your money and go all in harder on other trades, right? Don't try to be greedy. If you try to be greedy, you know, you're going to get crushed in stocks. We had a great month last month. I'm talking almost 1,000% in our portfolio. You know, and they were all there for the taking. I walked you guys nearly through every step. I even went live and did half of them, or you know, even the watch list. Things crushed off that watch list. But I'm talking about only things that we got in. Some of them took 30 days for them to crush. Not a lot of people have patience to hold a stock for 30 days. 2 days into it, they're panicking, ready to panic sell everything. Right? You gotta get those hands up. But what I'm really trying to say is, when you have great months, take those gains and always keep cash on deck. You never know when you have to average down. You never know when the market's going to tank. You know what I mean? You got to have cash on deck. Do not go all in ever, at all times, no matter what. In the biggest bull market ever in history, make sure that you have 30% bare minimum of your entire portfolio in cash at all times. All right? Because you're gonna have to get out of some bad situations sometimes. And sometimes that requires averaging the hell down as low as you can on the biggest dip of a day, and having one spike up just to get out even because you're trapped in one and you don't like the company no more and I got bad news or whatever you do. You know, no one should be down in the last 90 days. There's no way that we post 3,000% in gains and you guys are down 50% in your portfolio. Like, there's something wrong there if that's what's happening. And that's why I try to go live so much, man. I go live 2 times a day for you guys. I don't know any Discord that does that. I literally go live 2 times per day and try to make sure that you guys are on the same page with me about things. I try to do the trade live sometimes, keep you posted, updated on it. But but a lot of people try to do too much. You know, doing too many things is worse for your portfolio than anything. Trying to be a millionaire in a day will only make you broke, man. This is a patience game. Yeah, we're going to have some home runs. Hell yeah, we are. We're going to have some trades that lose. Yep. I'm not perfect either. I've done this for I've followed every stock you can ever think of for 10 years straight, all day every day. I still lose on some trades because some things are just unpredictable. You know, you can have the perfect chart, you can have the perfect news, you can have the perfect everything, and it still don't go your way. But the thing is, more are gonna go your way than not. If you followed every trade I've ever took since last year, you would have at least 20x your portfolio last year. And a lot of it just required time and patience. Again, I'm about to look fuel cell up for Jason right now. I bought fuel cell at $1.80 and half of my room sold this for a loss before it went to $30 a share. Okay? That's a true story. I bought it all the way back here. They sold it on this dip right here after an offering, and before it went to $30. So fuel cell, let's look at it on the 4-hour first. Yeah, here's the cross on the RSI right here. It'll always show you on the algo when you get a cross. See this right here, this blue right there? That's when you're strong on the RSI to the up. So this is 8 to 965. Let's see. Yeah, nice trend line right now. Just got to cross to the downside right here, and it needs to come up and retest. It's under its moving averages right now. Right now it has this thing losing a little bit more, but this does have some support down here, right here at on this pink line. It's really right on it actually. Let me look at it on the 30-minute. Yeah, this thing has gotten beat to death off that 30 range. So right now it's having trouble. You can see it lost the moving average, got rejected on the downtrend, got rejected on the downtrend, and lost another moving average here. So far, I haven't seen any bullish indicators on it yet. I had that one pop, man, that one day, right when Emily called that leap on it. That thing doubled the next day. Then she trimmed one out, and then it's just been kind of sideways. But it's close. It's very close to long-term support. If you look at it on the Weeble chart, look at the daily on it. Look at this thing, man. This thing is right there, consolidated towards the end. RSI is even up a little bit. It's getting a little more volume. But this thing is definitely... See, I think that this is one of those plays that could benefit from the infrastructure bill with the alternative energies. So I'm going to have a list of a lot of alternative energy plays because they're going to be putting a boatload of money into them. And these things are going to move so fast whenever all that stuff gets announced on where it's getting allocated towards. Emily grabbed it like right in this range. We had that pop to 831 when energy was running. And then since then, we've just had kind of a little downtrend right here, but it hasn't lost this support yet. The support's right here, right at it. So to be honest with you, bro, it looks like it's about to break out of this range. Oversold, RSI is curling up. This is on a 1-hour chart. So, you know, you can see that the algo you know, it's not showing exactly the same thing, but you can see it on the long term trend right here, that it's very close to this area right here, right? But it's showing sell only because it lost this major trend line right there. But if you look at this right here, this is going to be potential buy because it just had a cross. Um, right here to the upside. So let's see if it holds this support down here. If it holds this support, we can easily make a push. This can easily turn into a buy. Okay. Looks pretty decent though. They're close now. Senate already passed it. Has to go through the House. Obviously, they think they have enough to get it. Certain aspects of it have already gone through, and you know they're nitpicking over certain parts of it, but it's gonna happen sooner than later. 6 days ago, Senate passes 1 trillion infrastructure bill. 11 hours ago, 3.5 trillion. 14 hours ago. It's close, man. Very close. We're looking now. Yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't be able to know. That's beyond me. I don't have any connects in the Senate, man. Or the any of those higher ups like that. I can only go off charts and volume. But we'll tell you this: when that bill does get passed, a lot of those things are going to absolutely rip, and they're all very, very, very low right now. Why value is very high, but still be safe. It's getting close to midnight for me, guys, and I haven't even finished my studying yet, so I'm gonna jump off. Hopefully, that this live stream like this, you guys can see the picture a little more clear. I'm gonna try and do it like that. Not as many people jump on, but I think that people will get used to it. And I think it's easier because you can actually ask me questions and I can see it at the same time. On the Discord, I can't see anything, but you can talk. But there's so many hot mics on there and people that ask it. There's some interesting people that get on there, non-members, and kind of mess it up for a lot of other people. So we're gonna try it this way for a little bit. If it don't work, I heard that the Discord is blurry when I'm jumping through and looking at different things. So just trying something out, try and make it better. Okay. But I'll be there bright and early to open it for you guys. Let's try to knock 100% gain right out the gate. All right. But we'll see you guys in the morning. Thank you guys again, as always.